With so much cold air around the last few weeks, we've had plenty of lake effect snow in the state, but what we get in Pennsylvania from the lake effect pales in comparison to what falls elsewhere to the lee of the Great Lakes. Now here's how big a difference it makes if you're upwind or downwind of a Great Lake. Average snowfall in Thunder Bay, Ontario, just north of Lake Superior, is 84 inches, but south of the lake, Marquette, Michigan, averages 185 inches per winter. If we head down to Lake Michigan, on the typical upwind side, the west side, Green Bay and Milwaukee average just over 50 inches of snow per winter, while across the lake, Traverse City and Muskegon, Michigan, average about double that. And speaking of cities that get big-time lake effect snow, Buffalo set its 24-hour snowfall record on this date in 1995, 38 inches, with 2 feet in just under 8 hours, the result of a single, nearly stationary band off of Lake Erie. That event and others like this one from a couple years ago highlight the general idea that the longer the stretch of water that air crosses, that is, the fetch, the greater the potential for heavy snow. The most favorable wind direction for Buffalo is actually a little bit south of west, a direction where air crosses more than 200 miles of Lake Erie. But if the wind shifts just a little, say 20 degrees, and becomes due west, the fetch over water is only about 100 miles, which is around the minimum needed to produce significant lake effect snow. And the interaction with topography often enhances the lake effect process. We see this in northwestern Pennsylvania, where higher elevation inland locations such as Corry and Meadville average more snow than Erie. Topography also plays a role on the UP of Michigan, where the Keweenaw Peninsula juts out into Lake Superior. Drivers there sometimes have to navigate through canyons of snow, and the locals keep track of the current winter's snowfall using this massive gauge that tops out at 390 inches, the record winter snowfall for the area. Even that can't match what happens typically on the Tug Hill Plateau, which rises abruptly just to the east of Lake Ontario in upstate New York. Parts of the Tug Hill average more than 250 inches of snow a winter, and one place got 467 inches, that's almost 39 feet, during the winter of 1976-1977. More recently, in February of last year, 141 inches fell over a 10-day span in the Tug Hill community of Redfield. Now, lake effect snow isn't confined to the Great Lakes. Back on November 22nd, while Erie and Ontario were alive with lake effect snow, very cold northerly winds blowing nearly the length of Delaware Bay and Chesapeake Bay created bay effect snow bands. And in the Northeast, you sometimes see ocean effect snow bands across Cape Cod when chilly north-northeast winds sweep across the Gulf of Maine. Fred will be back next to tell us if we have any lake effect worries in our extended forecast.